To Raul Oteiza, Program Head at SuneraTech. He is responsible for overseeing major SAP transformation projects and assist clients in developing product and solution roadmaps. Over the last 40 years, Raul has held technical product development, sales and marketing positions at global companies, mainly in the manufacturing industry sector. He has worked in the SAP space for more than 20 years in project and program execution. He has held leadership positions in numerous global implementations of SAP, both R/3 and SAP S/4HANA. Hello, Raul. Welcome to the session. As SuneraTech's program head for SAP, you have executed multiple complex SAP projects successfully. Recently, you have upgraded the SAP landscape for a mid-size engineered materials company to the latest version of S/4HANA by leveraging SuneraTech's remote upgrade methodology, which is unique in every way because of the current pandemic. In this context, can you please tell us what were the objectives of the upgrade project?
The objectives of the upgrade for Sunera were to completely review the simplification item catalog and perform all the necessary remediations, execute SPAU and SPDD, and remediate all the objects. And doing this all in the client's dual landscape, as the client was continuing their current development in their transformation project. While the upgrade was going on, Sunera had to help maintain the changes in a dual landscape. So that added another bit of complexity to the upgrade project. In addition to upgrading S4, the client also wanted to move from standalone Fiori to embedded Fiori for their applications. And as a third objective, the client requested Sunera to upgrade all their test scripts to what they would call gold standard. They wanted to have their test scripts reusable and in a high level of quality using their HPALM tool. So Sunera helped with the upgrade, did all the technical activities, and the client was involved in the testing.
Thank you. What were the risks? How you have mitigated them using tools and accelerators?
First risk was that the client's schedule was very tight. There was only 4 months from the kickoff of the project until the go live date. So there was a very tight schedule to maintain for this upgrade. Now, Sunera, using its S4 Express tool, was able to quickly evaluate the scope and the requirements to execute that upgrade. And in the first couple of weeks, Sunera, with the client's team, was able to develop a very detailed project plan that was maintained in a cloud environment, a tool called Smartsheet. So no matter where the resources were located, they could easily access the project plan and be able to stick to the timeline. Because of the remote requirements, the client and Sunera set up daily workstream teleconferences, weekly project team meetings, and monthly project sponsor meetings. All these were done using Microsoft Teams so that we could have video, audio, collaborative meetings. And those were very good in reducing risk because there was ample communication between all parties. one of the results of doing that type of communication and collaboration was the team got very close to the client's resources. Everyone felt like they were on a single team. Very good working relationship. Another risk we ran into, because it's a major upgrade, skipping from 16, we skipped 17 and 18 and going up to 1909, was ensuring that we stayed within the client's budget. So there was a close monitoring of the requirements and ensuring that there wasn't any change in scope, any scope creep. In the weekly and monthly meetings, we always kept an eye on the scope and advised the client when some of their requirements seemed to go beyond just the technical upgrade, and had to keep the client focused on their primary objectives of migrating the system to 1909. That was adhered to. We delivered the project in budget. So that was a good benefit to the client. The other risk was the ability to maintain good collaboration of the resources with, we had the Sunera resources in India, myself in the US. The client had resources in the US and Canada and Germany. So just the time differential was a risk. But through the daily work stream meetings, using instant messaging, video chats, Microsoft Teams, and ensuring that we had very efficient and timely communications when any issue came up, we were able to make that work with 100% remote model, 100% within the scope that was expected by the client. It was delivered on schedule. We went live on the initially planned date. There were no delays in go live. And the work result was seen in that the hypercare was minimal. Within the first week, a couple of dozen minor issues all resolved fairly immediately. So we delivered an upgrade as it was expected with no issues. On top of that, during the testing period, Sunera delivered over 200 gold standard test scripts that not only were written, but were executed as part of integration testing for the client. And they now have that available for their future projects. And because of the relationships that were developed, the execution, the client and Sunera now have an ongoing excellent relationship, and the client is looking for other projects where Sunera can assist them in moving forward with their transformation.
What are the upgrade best practices you would recommend to others who are planning to upgrade their system?
The risks were addressed in a timely fashion and mitigated within the scope of the deliverables. The tools that were used, Sunera's S4 Express, using the project plan in the cloud via Smartsheet, communications with Microsoft Teams and HPLM, the client's testing tool to do all the testing recording, all that contributed to an acceleration of the work and reduced risks in the timeline. And one thing that really contributed was to follow the best practices of SAP as they were brought to the client by Sunera, and stay focused on best practices, not to let the client move to their own expected practices. So not to reinvent the wheel, stay to standard best practices. And
thank you, Raul. That's very helpful.